Well, hello, lovely people. We're going to talk about graphing inequalities today. This is just a little support video in case you're confused from the video before. So when we talk about an inequality, we're talking about greater than or less than. We also use greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So when I graph the solution set to an inequality, here are some things I need to know. If it's greater than or less than, I graph with an open circle. Open circle. And if you don't know what that means, I will clarify in a second. And if I have greater than or equal to, less than or equal to with that little line, I'm going to close that circle in. The closed circle. So greater than or equal to, open circle. I'm sorry, greater than or equal to, closed circle, greater than, open circle, less than, open circle, less than or equal to, closed circle. So let's talk about what this actually looks like when I'm graphing an inequality. So if I have x, my variable, is greater than or equal to -2. The -2 is where my inequality will start. So there's two things I need to consider. What type of circle, what direction am I going? So if x, an unknown number, is greater than or equal to -2, I'm going to start at -2 and I'm going to put a closed circle because it has that line. So if it has the line, I close the circle. Okay, x is greater than or equal to -2, which means it could be -2 or a number bigger. So like 5 is bigger, 10 is bigger, 3 is bigger than -2, 0 is bigger than -2. So I graph in the direction that makes the inequality true, and I add an arrow at the end to show that there's an infinite number of possibilities to the right of that -2. So what type of circle? If it has a line, I close the circle. Greater than, I'm going to the right. Less than, I'm going to the left. A cool trick is that if your variable comes first, your inequality sign becomes the arrow. I'm going to the right. So it's just kind of a little thing if your variable comes first. All right, let's try another one. Let's say I have j is less than 4. Okay, if j is less than 4, so I look at my inequality sign. There's no line, so I go to j and I put an open circle, which means j can't be 4. J is less than 4. And then I think, okay, what numbers are less than 4? Well, like 0 is less than 4, -8 is less than 4, -4 is less than 4. So it looks like I'm going to the left, and I put that arrow at the end. Remember, less than left, greater than right. And if my variable's first, my inequality sign is the arrow. Boom, nailed it. Well, the variable doesn't always come first. Sometimes I have like 3 is greater than or equal to m, right? So if I'm like, wait, 3 is greater than or equal to m. So here's the thing. I like to graph with the variable first. I could figure this out. I could walk through the process and think of numbers that are technically less than 3 because 3 is greater than the number, but I like to flip it. So I'm going to put the variable first and the number second. But remember, the alligator always faces or wants to eat, right, the bigger number. If this is an alligator, boom, it's facing the bigger number. So it's facing the 3 there, then I have to flip the sign and face the 3 there. So if you flip the order, you have to flip the sign. So m is less than or equal to 3. Okay, well, I can do this. I have a closed circle at 3 because I have that line, and m is less than, I'm going to the left. So that graph matches both of these inequalities. Well, what about reading a graph? So say I have a graph that's already done for me and I have to come up with the number sentence. Okay, so my graph starts at 3. So I'm going to put 3 as my number and I'll just choose x as my variable. So now I have to figure out what is my inequality sign. Well, as I look at these numbers to the left of 3, I know that they are less than 3, right? 2 is less than 3. 1 is less than 3. 0 is less than 3. Then I look at the circle at 3. That's a closed circle, so I put the line, right? So this graph is x is less than or equal to 3. All right, let's try one more before we stop. All right, so here we go. So let's have our variable be k. Who knows? Let's mix it up. My graph starts at -4, so I'm going to put -4. And then I look at these numbers. Okay, all these numbers are to the right of -4. Right means greater. And I have a closed circle, so I put the line. So k is greater than or equal to -4. And just like that, that's how we graph and read inequalities. Let me know if you have any questions. Love ya. Bye.